gender inequality ideas start when we're young. We can debunk these ideas with adding art back into curriculum. The curriculum of science, technology, engineering, and math. We can turn STEM into STEAM, making learning fun again and bringing the minority numbers back to our male-dominated jobs. In the next slide, we'll see how this is done.
Gentlemen, we are here from the circus. Now, for real, once upon a time, Brent here and I, we had real jobs. I'm a roboticist, and Brent here is a computer scientist, and we were gainfully employed in what have now come to be called STEM careers. All the teachers in the audience know what I'm talking about. Science, technology, engineering, and math. And we tell our kids that these are the most highly prized rewards for studying hard and paying attention in science class. And you know what? We loved it. We went to work every single day, and we solved interesting problems, and we made a difference. And we were using the education that we'd gained in science, technology, engineering, and math to do cool stuff. But you know what? I was getting burned out. I would go to work every day, and I'd solve my interesting problems, but I'd come home at the end of the day and think to myself, what am I going to do now? Got to do something different. What am I going to do? And I did what a lot of people have done, what I'm sure a lot of you have done, which is I found a passion project at home. Now, I didn't know the proper criteria for passion projects. I tried to go about this in an organized way. I just started taking the stuff I was doing at work and applying it to no practical purpose at all when I got home. So I would take robotics and I would make art. I would take computer vision and I would make games. And over time, I did more and more of this, and I discovered other people like me, like Brent, and like the rest of our team. There were a whole bunch of people who were going home at the end of the day and making art with high-tech stuff. And what this did, what the art did for me, was it transformed STEM into STEAM, and it completely re-inspired me, and it reinvigorated me. This was our first collaboration, Brent and mine. This is called Artfall, and what we did is we took an ordinary whiteboard, and we aimed computer vision cameras at it. And we put together a physics simulation in the computer and then reprojected that simulation up on the whiteboard. And what you could do is you could walk up to this whiteboard and you could draw whatever you want. And objects projected on that whiteboard would interact with what you were drawing. Some people would go up to it and they'd draw beautiful pieces of art. Other people would walk up to it and they'd create their own games that could be played on the screen. Well, building stuff like this and taking it to events, for Brent and I at least, totally changed our lives. All of a sudden, we were doing STEAM. We weren't doing STEM, and it just wasn't the same anymore. We decided to inspire others the way we were inspired.
It turns out kids today are as uninspired about STEM as we were. And it's actually pretty sad. The data is pretty terrible. By 2018, there's a 3 million job gap between the number of engineers that will graduate and the number of jobs that we need to fill. Not only that, but the US ranks 48th in math and science. So not only are we not graduating enough kids, they're not that good, right? So that's a big problem. And after Artfall, Eric and I kept making whimsical inventions, scores of whimsical inventions, and we'd go around to schools and we'd talk about building a huge robot, a marionette robot out of bike parts, or filling a room full of laser beams. And we wouldn't mention engineering. We'd talk to them about all this stuff, and right about the time that they were wide-eyed and all excited, we'd say, the price of admission's engineering. And it had a completely different effect. Right? All of a sudden, they could see what it was that this stuff could do, right? Because STEM's kind of got a branding problem, right? It's not pencil ties and lab coats, right? There's today modern technology. We saw 3D printed sugar. We could this weekend, this group, we could all build a robot that mines bitcoins and controls something in outer space. And I mean, it'd be awesome, right? So earlier this year, Eric and I, we put a plan into action, and we call it the STEAM Carnival. Now, this huge traveling event, There's two parts. One part, a bunch of high-tech amusement, right? A bunch of stuff we could all go play, have a great time, concessions, all that. The second half is a stage show for kids. And we didn't want another baking soda vinegar volcano science fair thing, right? We've all seen that a million times. What would be really fun, right? For all of us in the audience, even if we didn't have a kid in the show, and for the kids that were on stage, something that they would feel really proud about. So we decided to leverage the things that those kids already like: music, fashion, and games, and then convert those into the stage show. So we're going to have a fashion show of wearable electronics, a concert of musical robots, and an arcade of indie group games. So we've combined our own specially crafted STEAM curriculum with these concepts.
Low numbers in STEM careers. We need to make sure that we have mentors to guide them. We need to bring back fun into STEM. We need diversity, and we need collaboration. Collaboration with teachers, collaboration with we can start with the art teacher. The art teacher can have lesson plans that are more STEM driven, making them STEAM. We can light it up and make art teachers can find many lessons under the search engine in STEM to STEAM. We do this with found objects, lighting kits, epoxy, drill screws, just about everything you can think of. Make the kids do something different. In this slide, you can see there are many different places to look for and understand. Expelling the myths by using STEM to STEAM. In the art class is where it can begin.